Session 1, the basic goal and ways to attainment the search. The search, everyone is looking for the same thing. All beings, even the animals, are looking for it. And this thing that everyone is looking for is happiness with no sorrow. A continuous state of happiness with no taint whatsoever of sorrow. We can call this a state of beingness. Why is this the goal? Because imperturbable happiness is our basic nature. And what is imperturbable happiness? Complete and total freedom, the freedom to do or not to do anything and everything. This is our natural state, the state which exists before we encumber it with limitations. If this is so, why then do most of us not have this continuous happiness with no sorrow? There is only one reason. We have done away with this happiness by thinking, I am an individual, separate from the all, and in this way, as infinite beings, we have assumed limitation. To make ourselves separate from the all, we must have a means to accomplish this separation, and the means is the mind. And using the mind, we create our bodies and the external world. We then get caught up in our own creation and begin searching for the all in the external world, and in the process create more and more thoughts and more matter, until we are so involved in the thoughts and matter that we forget our real identity as the infinite beingness. This original thought that I am separate from the all necessarily creates a feeling of lack and loneliness, for I can only be satisfied when I am the all. Seeking fulfillment of desire in the world, therefore, cannot undo the lack, since the lack is not in the world in the first place. Lack is a creation of the mind. And yet we go on trying to satisfy desire externally. But of course we never succeed. For if we could succeed, we would be able to satisfy desire, and therefore all desire would disappear. The real purpose of being here on this earth, then, is to learn or to remember our original natural state of beingness, a state which allows imperturbable happiness, complete with complete freedom and no limitation. Once we are led to see that this is our natural state, then we can begin to let go of all limitations. The prime and the very first limitation is the feeling, I am an individual separate from the all. Eliminate that, and you eliminate all loneliness, all limitation. To say this another way, God is all. Let go and let God be. It is not I but the Father who worketh through me. We must let go of the ego sense, which is the original sense of our separation from the all, and allow our natural being to just be, and then everything will fall perfectly into line. However, even after this idea is accepted, we do not find it easy to accomplish. We do not find it easy because of habits that have been established since the beginning of time. And for some reason we like these habits, and so we continue them. We call them subconsciously directed behavior. And we go on and on, behaving automatically as though we are a victim of our subconscious mind. Now the subconscious or unconscious mind is really that part of the mind that we have the most trouble looking at. But when our desire for freedom is strong enough, we will dig up these subconscious habits, look at them, and begin to let go of them. Natural being. Many people in many spiritual and transformational disciplines believe they must work hard to achieve beingness. But there is no growing into the natural being that you are. That being is whole and perfect, here and now. There is only letting go of the concepts of limitation. The belief that you have limitations, that you have troubles, is in your mind and only in your mind. That is the only place where trouble is, because you cannot see or conceive of anything anywhere else but in your mind. Whatever you look at, whatever you hear, whatever you sense, is in and through your mind. That is where everything is. Therefore, if you change your thinkingness, you change your world. Do this, and you will have the proof. So the way to freedom, the path itself, is really quite simple. What is not so simple is the method of undoing the limitations, and the reason. It is because of the force of habit. To overcome this habit, we need a very strong desire. Without a strong desire, there is no growth. This desire, in fact, must be stronger than the desire to control the external world or to have its approval. The world as a dream. The world as you now see it is really a product of your imagination, and when you see the truth, the world turns out to be a dream, a fiction created in your mind. First, you will see it as a dream, then you will see it as a dream that never really was. In fact, you will experience it exactly as you do a night dream. While you are in the night dream, you have a body, there are other bodies, there is action, interaction, there is good and there is bad. And so long as you remain in that night dream, everything there seems real to you. But when you awaken from the night dream, you say, "My gosh, it was just a dream. It never really happened. It was all a dream." This is exactly the same manner in which you will awaken from this dream called the waking state. You will come to see that it was only a creation of your imagination, only a dream, and then you will let go of it lock, stock, and barrel, and what you will be left with is the infinite you. Then you will call yourself fully realized, totally free. Actually, we are fully realized all the time. That is part of the irony. We are fully realized beings saying that we are not. So all we have to do is let go of we are not, and what is left over is the fully realized and free being that we are. The best method. Do you have any questions on what I have said so far? Stop a moment and reflect on what has been said. Perhaps you understand this intellectually but are unable to use it. If this is the case, you may not be looking at yourself honestly, truthfully, or with a deep enough desire to let go of your limitations. You may have set up in your subconscious mind all the things you will not look at, and allowed them to culminate in inhibitive and compulsive feelings. If this is so, it may be necessary that you release all the inhibitive and compulsive feelings. You are now run by them, you are now the victim of them. By releasing them, your mind quiets, and you become free. Therefore, undo these limiting feelings and thoughts. Quiet the mind, and this infinite being that you are becomes self-obvious to you. Then you will see that you never were subjected to that mind, that body, and from that moment on, the mind and body will have no influence upon you. You then determine for the body as you would a puppet, and it has no more effect upon you, any more than a puppet would. So the very best method of all methods is to quiet the mind by releasing all subconscious feelings and thoughts, all feelings of wanting approval, wanting control, and wanting security. And what is left is the being that you are. The final question that everyone must answer is also simple: what am I? So my question to you is, why not begin with the final question? If you could, it would be all good, all wonderful. But there are very few of us who are capable of just holding on to what am I? We have gotten ourselves so habituated with subconscious thoughts and feelings that we cannot let go of them, and therefore we need other methods, other aids. Other major methods from the East are called Jnana Yoga, Raja or Kriya Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga. The path that is best for you is the one that you like best. Each path includes all the other paths. The only difference is the emphasis. If we are intellectual, we emphasize the Jnana path, the path of intellect and wisdom. If we are of devotional nature, we emphasize the Bhakti path of love and devotion to God. If we like to be of service to mankind, we use the Karma Yoga path. Each path leads to the quieting of the mind, enough so that we may see the infinite being that we are. Since all of the above paths aim to achieve the quieting of the mind, however, why not go directly to the mind itself? It is more direct and practical, and the most efficient of all methods. In fact, if we go directly to the mind, we will discover that it is simply the totality of all our thoughts, conscious and subconscious, and that all of these past thoughts on particular things have culminated into feelings. These feelings, in turn, now motivate additional thoughts. So if our thoughts are motivated by our feelings, all we need to do to remember our infinite beingness is to release our feelings, the motivators of the thoughts. Then our mind will be quiet, and when the mind is quieted, the infinite being that we are becomes self-obvious. Simple, isn't it? The world we create. Let us now take a look at this apparency called the world. As we have discussed, the world is only our mental creation. It is not external, but is a reality within us, within our mind. Someday you will discover this. Creation begins by first creating what we call a mind, which is a composite of all our thoughts and feelings, conscious and subconscious. Then through this mind we create our world. In fact, every little thing that happens to each and every one of us, we create first in our minds. We mentally create this thing called time, which makes it even more difficult to see the creation process because we think now, and the effect of that thought happens much later. But the only creator there is mind, your mind. Is God a creator? Yes, because you are. Thou are. That, you set up a mind and through the mind create. It is necessary and good to discover that everything happening to us is caused by our feeling and thinking. Everything that happens to us is created first in our thought, and when you discover this, you discover that you create your trouble as well. And then you realize that if this is so, then you can create anything you desire, and you will begin to create only good things. Still, even when you discover that there is nothing that you cannot create, you are still not satisfied. The reason is that you have separated yourself from your infinite beingness, your oneness, and only on recognizing and being your infinite beingness are you perfectly satisfied. So if there are any problems that remain, they only remain because you are holding on to them in your thought. The moment you let go of them, they are gone. If you tell me that isn't so for you, I tell you it is. The truth is, you are still holding on to the problem and telling me that it doesn't work. You see, trying to get rid of a problem is holding on to it. Anything we try to get rid of, we are holding in mind and thereby sustaining. So the only way to correct a problem is to let go of it. Don't focus on the problem, focus only on what you want. From this moment on, if you would only see what you want, that is all that you would get. But you hold in mind the things you do not want. You struggle to eliminate these things you don't want and thereby sustain them. This means that it is necessary to let go of the negative and focus on the positive if you want a positive, happy life. The riddle. Although I have been talking about this subject in intellectual terms, this subject cannot be learned intellectually. Although you have been using your mind to understand it, it cannot be learned in the mind. Truth, you see, is perceived just behind the mind. We can use the mind to release what is occupying the mind, so that by getting it quieter, we can see behind the mind. If it were possible to get this subject through the mind intellectually, all we would need to do is to read the books on it and we would have it. But it doesn't work that way. We have to very concentrated seek ourself that is just behind the mind. Turn the mind back upon the mind to release the mind, and then you may go beyond the mind to yourself. To understand this, each of us must experience it, realize it, make it our own, by going to the place just behind the mind and perceiving it there. And then we will know. Then we will know that we know. Then we operate intuitively, from the realm of all-knowingness. Now, as I've said, the very highest state is simply beingness, and if we could only be, just be, we could see our infinity, we could see that we are the all. We could be in a perfectly satiated, permanent, changeless state. And this state is not a nothingness, it is not a boredom, it is an allness, an everythingness, a total satiation that is eternal. And as you come to this experience, you will come to know that you will never, never lose your individuality. The feeling I as you use it to mean your individuality will never ever leave you, it expands. What happens as you discover what you are is that you begin to see that others are you, that you are them, that you and I are one, that there is only one, and that you are now and always have been that one and glorious infinite being. If we don't like what's happening to us in the world, all we have to do is change our consciousness, and the world out there changes for us.